People tune out when you tell them what you do, and you struggle to stand out in a crowded market. You may notice that you ramble and you confuse them. And when you confuse, you lose. Your leads and customers don't really understand how you can help them. People only buy things they understand. And your marketing is meant to amplify your message, but it's got to be clear and simple. Otherwise, they're just going to go to your competition whose marketing is easy to understand. When you can speak clearly and directly to the problem that they have, that's going to get their ears to perk up and say, this is something that I need. I want to know more. And that's when you have them hooked in. This is why when I first read the book Story Brand by Donald Miller, it all started to make sense to me how important our story is to our business. And that who we are, what we do, and who we do it for is really what makes up our brand. I mean, almost everybody knows that Apple started in a garage, Facebook started in a dorm room, and Coca-Cola was technically started as a medicine. All of these stories are part of the brands that I mentioned. And we learn by hearing stories. It's how we've taught our children. It's how we've taught generations and generations information, because stories are easy to remember. Your story is the only thing that makes you different and unique from your competition. So people want to hear more about who is the person that started this business, the people that encompass and are composed of this business, in order for them to decide they want to do business with you. In today's market, it is so much more than the products you offer, the carriers you represent, the fact that you can save somebody money, or the fact that you may have the best customer service, because honestly, that is what everyone is selling. The goal is to get your story to be told so clearly and as often as possible so that you can continue to get in front of the right people and attract the clients that you want to work with. No more guessing about what you're going to say in your marketing. You can have a clear message that you feel confident in, and then implement that new message in your marketing. That means more customers and more revenue for you. So Cassidy, you might be thinking, how do I figure out my story brand and then market into the world so that my brand is stronger? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's how it works. First part of a story brand is your customer, the person that you're trying to attract, that ideal client that you want to work with. They are there because they need something from you and they need your help. So what is it that they want? What they want is to solve a problem. There's three parts to a problem. There's going to be the external problem, which is the actual problem, the definition description of what the problem is. Then there's the internal problem, which is how your customer feels about the fact that they have this problem and dealing and struggling with it. And lastly, there's a physiological problem that they deal with that has to do with the greater good or the greater economy or society or community, about feeling like they deserve something, feeling like something's just not right. It's kind of that bigger philosophical problem that they feel or they have because of this external problem. Being able to define those three will really help you when you're communicating your story to telling the client, I know who you are, I know what you're struggling with. And by the way, the next part of the story brand is the guide, telling them who you are and why you are uniquely qualified to help them solve this problem. You tell them about yourself, and then you tell them what the process is. The process needs to be a super clear 1, 2, 3 step of what they need to do next if they want to do business with you and if they want you to help them solve this problem. That's when we do something called a call to action. We call them to take some type of action, whether it's a direct call to action and telling them they need to call us, book an appointment with us, give us their credit card, submit this. Or if it's a transitional call to action, meaning they're definitely interested, but not quite yet ready to buy, and maybe they just need some more information, like just having them watch a video with a little bit more information to help them make that decision. So an example of a really good story brand would look like, hey, savvy business owners, I know that you don't have the time to really make sure that you have the right insurance products in place to protect your business. I, however, have a really easy 3-step plan to make sure that we protect all the blood, sweat, and tears that you've put into your business, because the biggest asset you have is the ability to earn an income. So if you want us to help you solve this problem and solve this struggle that you're having, make sure to book a call with us. Here's the link to do that. In just a few sentences, I've identified a savvy business owner. We know who our client is. We've identified the problem that they're sick and tired of struggling with having time to go through this lengthy process of getting their business insured. And we also talked about some other problems, external, internal, and physiological, of them feeling like I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this business, and being able to earn an income is my biggest asset. And you understand that as my guide, and you have an easy process for me to do that. I'm going to click this link in order for me to take the next step to do business with you. By communicating in this way, you have been able to touch on all those points, and the person clearly understands what you do, clearly understands a call to action, and also heard who they are within this and identified with it and related with it. And that made them want to trust you and do business with you instead or over the competition. So communicating this way to your potential client, you will start to see results in leading that customer, that client, from point A to point B, from point A of where they are and having that problem through point B of where you can get them the transformation that you have now helped them solve the problem. They're no longer unhappy and struggling. They are now happy and have their problem solved. If you do this well and you follow those steps, you're going to eliminate confusion. Because between our short attention spans, our busy lives, and the minimal patience we have, the last thing we want to do is hear about something new. Our brains are literally created to conserve energy. And as soon as something's too complicated, we will quickly tune it out. And so the more clearly you can make this and allow those points of a story brand to attract the person that you want to attract, and they hear the things they need to hear, the more likely they're going to do business with you. And that's going to make you stick out over the competition. Don't let your clients' time be wasted by your complicated explanations, and then they end up just going to work with your competition. When you're genuine and clear about your story brand, you will connect with customers quickly. They're going to feel the empathy that you have, and they're going to be more confident in taking that action to do business with you and really be able to connect on a deeper level. That's going to be the foundation for a long-term relationship. And we are in the long-term relationship business when it comes to residual revenue. And of course, by doing this, your business is going to grow, because nobody wants to do business with a subpar company that really doesn't know who they are or doesn't understand what they're going through and can't come up with a solution to their problem. One of the biggest parts about a story brand is understanding who your ideal client avatar is. In this video you should watch next, I go over why it's so important for you to stop spending so much time teaching your sales team about product knowledge and system software, instead of focusing in the beginning about teaching them who your ideal client is and the prospects they need to be prospecting and attracting before they ever learn anything else. Because if they can't help you bring the right clients to your door and get that lead workflow full, then it doesn't matter how much product knowledge they know or that they know how to quote somebody in a system. So make sure to watch that video next. And next week, we're going to be talking about how to create a marketing plan, one that has low cost and high return. It's all based off knowing your ideal client avatar and how we get in front of them without throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping somebody calls us for a quote. And this way, your marketing plan is not going to fall short. So make sure you subscribe and watch this video next.